Parent Pharmacy Federation, powered by researchers for emerging innovations. Hi, I'm Meeni Shiv, Director Content and Creativity of Parent Pharmacy Federation. If you're looking for publishing periodicals or journals related to pharmaceutical research, or if you're seeking to bring together pharmaceutical researchers on a single platform to discuss various issues related to the pharmaceutical industry, then OPF is the right place for you. Parent Pharmacy Federation, or OPF, is an international professional body of pharmacists engaged in various sets of professions of pharmacy. OPF is committed to promote the highest professional and ethical standards of society. Establish the image of pharmacists as competent healthcare professionals, sensitize the community on various professional issues, and support the education in all aspects. We are both research-based and community-based. We are an online-based scientific multidisciplinary community in the pharmaceutical sciences, biomedical, drug discovery, and life sciences. We deal with publishing research papers, theses, dissertations, abstracts, reports, monographs, case studies, and others on regular basis. You can also get information about the various opportunities available within the pharmaceutical industry by gaining insight from the pharmacists who represent a plethora of practice settings. We also provide our members with extensive scholarships and awards program content, recognizing members for involvement in the Federation for leadership.
A very good morning, everyone. Welcome to today's OPF Icon International Web Conference on COVID-19 and pregnancy, hosted by Parent Pharmacy Federation in collaboration with Dreams College of Pharmacy, Sundanagar. My name is Meeni Shiv, Director Content and Creativity of Parent Pharmacy Federation, and I will be the moderator of today's event.
Excuse me, Menusi.
Yes, sir.
Sound is going echo.
Okay, so.
From any panelist side, double speaker is open. Vivek sir, from your side, you check once audio. Now?
No double speaker is on.
Yeah. Menusi, now we'll continue.
Okay, and in addition, you can all type in your questions and queries into the question box. They will all be answered at the end of the webinar in the Q&A section, and the feedback form for the session will be provided at the end of the webinar. Yesterday, we had also organized a webinar on the topic Fundamentals and Regulatory Regulations for Pharmaceutical Industry Beginners, which was an immense success given by the Honorable Dr. Lokesh Prasad, as he shared and beautifully explained about the different spheres of the drug and cosmetic industry, defining the meaning of new drug, and explaining the role of quality control and how regulations and different laboratory bodies related to them came into the picture, while also stressing on the scope and importance of nutraceuticals and herbal formulations in regards to the current COVID-19 situation. So now I'd like to call upon Mr. Vikram Chaudhary, founder and director of Parent Pharmacy Federation, to start with the inauguration of today's webinar.
Yeah, very good morning to all. Welcome you all. It is my honor to welcome to this second day of International Web Conference organized by Parent Pharmacy Federation in collaboration with Dreams College of Pharmacy, Sundanagar, Himachal Pradesh. And I also welcome Dr. Vivek Gupta, a Director cum Principal, Dreams College of Pharmacy, and I am heartfully welcome to our today's keynote speaker, Dr. Sini Matthew John, a research scientist at University of Calgary, Canada. And I welcome all the participants from across the country and from abroad also. A few of participants joined from the USA, Canada, UAE, Kuwait, Thailand, Myanmar, Malaysia, and Singapore. And I must sure that Dr. Sini will provide you great knowledge on COVID-19 on pregnancy outcome. So this will be a great platform to exchange your ideas and recent development in the COVID-19. Thank you. Over to Minushi.
Okay. Realizing the current scenario. Now I request Dr. V.K. Gupta, Chairman of Dreams Group of Institution, to share a few words as we begin with the event.
First of all, I wish all of you will be happy and healthy, especially from COVID-19 pandemic. Respected Mr. Naresh Chauhan, Chairman Dream Group of Institution, Mr. Vikram Chaudhary, Founder and Director Operant Pharmacy Federation, Dr. Sidney Matthew John, a research scientist, University of Calgary, Canada, who is also the speaker of today's program, participating delegates, staff, students, researchers, industry people, ladies and gentlemen. I welcome all to this today's international web conference on fundamentals and regulatory regulations for pharmaceutical beginners and COVID-19. Yesterday we had very interesting and knowledgeable session on regulatory regulations, especially for beginners by Dr. Lokesh Prasad. Today's session will be focused on COVID-19. I am very much delighted to have Dr. Sini Matthew John, research scientist, University of Calgary, Canada. She has thorough study of this topic and will discuss various aspects of COVID-19, including effect of COVID-19 on pregnant ladies. I am sure this session is becoming very much interesting and knowledgeable. Once again, I welcome all. Over to Mimi, Kethu.
Considering COVID-19 and the current scenario, we understand that it is a very worrying time for pregnant women with babies who are concerned both for themselves and their babies. So today it gives me great pleasure to introduce the speaker of the session, Dr. Siri Matthew John, an illustrious research scientist of University of Calgary, Canada, who is going to talk to us about the impact of COVID-19 on pregnancy. Dr. Sini Matthew John is an outstanding, extremely motivated research scientist with more than 10 years of research experience in pharmacology, nutrition therapy, immunology, diabetic and cardiovascular drugs. She completed her degree in pharmacy from Vivekananda Institute of Medical Science and Research, followed by a postgraduate diploma in pharmaceutical marketing from Pondicherry University. After successfully completing both her master's in immunology and PhD in pharmacology and toxicology from Faculty of Medicine, University Putra, Malaysia, with excellent results, she is currently working as a research scientist in University of Calgary, Canada. Dr. Sini Matthew John has myriad of achievements to her name, having won Publication Award 2018-2019, LIBIN, Cardiovascular Institute, Alberta, Kirtland Fellowship for Vascular Biology Research, and Libin Cardiovascular Institute of Alberta Award 2017. She has also been a dynamic assistant professor, diabetic researcher, pharmacist, and diabetic educator, and received the principal investigator and fundamental research grant from Ministry of Education, Malaysia, while supervising a plethora of PhD, master's, and undergraduate projects. She was also awarded as a gold medalist in Invention, Innovation, and Design Expo in 2012 and 2014, and the title of Best Oral Presenter for numerous international research conferences and post awards. A very warm welcome, ma'am, and I now request you to kindly begin with the session. Ma'am, you are mute. You should turn off the mute.
You right?
It's fine now, ma'am.
Good morning, all of you. It's actually evening in Canada. It's nice to give a small talk regarding the COVID-19 in pregnancy. I'm currently doing a research on developmental studies of developmental studies, and basically how does cardiovascular effect happening in pregnancy-related cardiovascular effect. So we are also looking into different immunological aspects of pregnancy. So we might move on to COVID research in future, but currently we are looking into different aspects of cardiovascular research and developmental studies. So this COVID research is very interesting to see what's actually happening. But because though there are many studies happening in how does COVID, this SARS virus is affecting, or coronavirus is affecting in different organs in aging or different types of individuals, less data or less, only very little available data or studies are happening in pregnancy. It is due to also the small case series. So based on what all the informations I could collect, I'm trying to put up a few information that could help many researchers here, or many like those who are interested in seeing what's actually happening in pregnancy. So the background of the study for my talk will be about like a few studies which I have compiled. So a study in like around 427 pregnant women admitted in NHS, like hospitals in UK. It was found that around 73% gave birth at the term, have 10% women have need respiratory support, and 5 women have died. So that's actually 1% of the women have died. 5% of the infant tested positive for SARS-CoV. It's in the RNA, and also the 6 of them within the first 12 hours after the birth. So another study in China that conducted for around 147 pregnant women, 8% have a severe disease and 1% were in the critical condition. That's in the second or third trimesters. Another study of around 19 reported cases also in China, only 2 had complications during delivery and developed severe diseases. So another 4-month pregnant woman had miscarriage. A placental biopsy obtained immediately after the delivery under the sterile condition was positive for SARS-CoV virus. So in US, around 319,000 cases. Out of it, around like 11,312 cases were, out of it, around 31 deaths were reported. And around 83% had ICU admissions. This data is only available for around 3,000 cases. That's around 27% have ICU admissions. And mechanical ventilation data were only available for around 2,660 cases. That's around 23.5%. 7 pregnant women from Iran, that's presenting with severe COVID-19 disease, and died in their later second and third trimesters. 3 of the 7 women have had stillbirth, and 6 of their offsprings died after birth. So in a study of 20 plus pregnant women with COVID-19, all had placental damage, and 80% had vascular malperfusion, a placental complication that can limit the flow of blood and nutrients. 2% of the infants did had evidence of viral RNA in the sample taken within the 12 hours of the birth, which suggests that mother-to-infant viral transmission may be occurring. Lymphopenia, as well as liver and renal dysfunctions, were also observed in many cases. Offsprings developed the diseases who were in contact with mothers and their RNA carrier. All infants also had elevated immunoglobulin G antibody values and cytokine levels, although these may be crossed through the placenta from the mother to the infant. In Canada, there's a study. Placenta revealed the presence of coronavirus particles and the virus protein that is believed to be specific to the virus. Thus, researchers of Toronto University concluded that COVID-19 was passed to the baby in the womb, not during or after the birth. I know that most of the people are aware of what is called SARS-CoV and how does it looks like, but I'll just have a slide on this, and I'll explain how does it looks like the SARS virus. Coronavirus are single-stranded RNA viruses with a diameter of 60 to 140 nanometer and a high rate of genetic mutation and recombinations, rendering them capable of escaping from the immune system and causing novel infection. The envelope spike glycoprotein binds to its cellular receptor ACE2. They uses the angiotensin converting enzyme 2, that is ACE2 receptors, to the cell surface to enter the cell. These receptors are abundant on the surface of the type 2 pneumocytes, on the lung alveoli, esophageal endothelial cells, and also the gut cells. So, what are the possible viral infection via placenta? So normally in pregnancy, the infection from the mother to the offspring or to the fetus could be carried by placenta. The in utero infection mostly by placenta. So the intercellular microorganisms that live inside the cells using components of the nucleic acid and protein, synthetic machinery to the host to replicate and spread. Viral replication interferes with the normal cellular protein synthesis and function and leads to the injury and ultimately death of the infected cell. Virus enters the host cell through the receptor binding to the surface of the cell. Virus nucleic acid, protein, and lipid can be detected by the host cells through the pattern recognition receptor, that is the PRR receptor. PRR expressed in the innate immune cells and epithelial cells to recognize microorganisms to elicit defense mechanism. Now, let's see how does the immunity to virus normally happens. Innate and adaptive immunity are the two types of immunity which is acting against the viruses. So innate and adaptive immune responses to the viruses are aimed at blocking infection and eliminating the infected cells. So major cells in the viral immunity are NK cells, that's innate immune cells, and also CD8 cells that are part of the adaptive immune cells. Infection is prevented by type 1 interferons as part of the innate immunity and neutralizing the antibodies contributing to the adaptive immunity. Once infection is established, infected cells are eliminated by NK cells in the innate response and CTLs in the adaptive response. You can see the figure where innate immunity, how does the innate type 1 innate mechanism, and after that the adaptive mechanism helps the protection against the infection and the eradication of the established infection. So the phases of immune responses induced by SARS-CoV virus in pregnancy outcome. There is no conclusive data on the viral response against the SARS-CoV virus, yet the responses against this new strain virus are anticipated similar to that of the SARS-CoV virus, since both are 80% similar. Not all people exposed to SARS virus are developing severe respiratory illnesses. And SARS-CoV infection can be roughly divided into 3 stages, where the stage 1, which is an asymptomatic incubation period with or without detectable virus. Stage 2, non-severe symptomatic period with the presence of the virus. And stage 3, it's a severe respiratory symptomatic stage with a high viral load. About 15% of the confirmed case progress to a severe phase, although there is higher chance of patients' comorbidities to progress to a severe phase. Most common symptoms of COVID-19 are fever, fatigue, and respiratory symptoms. Severely affected patients also develop lymphopenia and pneumonia. So, this slide explains the immune responses induced by SARS-CoV infection that can be classified into 3 stages in pregnancy. So in stage 1, that will be happening in the mother. So specific adaptive immune responses is required to eliminate the virus to prevent disease progression to severe stages. Receptor of SARS-CoV, ACE2, is mainly expressed in a small subject of cells in the lung called type 2 alveolar cells. The infected cells recognize SARS virus through an innate receptor, PRR. The single-stranded RNA recognizes by the intercellular TLR7 and TLR8 and RNA sensor. You can see the image where how does the virus is actually moving. The binding the PRR active downstream signaling cascade NF-kappa B and produces interferon. You can see that here the interferon receptor is getting activated. The interferon suppresses the viral replication. Th1, CD4 cells and CD8 positive cells activate the production of CTX. The B cells activate to produce antibodies. Also, SARS virus can evade or escape from the immune system. However, when a protective immune response is impaired, virus will propagate and massive destruction of the affected tissue will occur. So the stage 2 is also happening in the mother. The damaged cells induce innate inflammation in the lung that is largely mediated by the pro-inflammatory macrophage and granulocytes. Lung inflammation is the main cause of life-threatening respiratory disorders at the severe stage. The cytokine release syndrome, CRS, seems to affect patients with severe conditions. Increased number of neutrophils and reduction in the lymphocytes. That's the lymphocytopenia. This is actually happening in very severe in the pregnant women who are admitted in hospitals. So interleukin 6, interleukin 8, interleukin 1 beta, granulocytes, macrophages, colony-stimulating factor, and reactive oxygen species and chemokines such as CCL2, CCL5, and interferon gamma induced protein 10, IP10, and CCL3 are high. It induced severe lung inflammation and multi-organ failure. Now, let's see what's happening in the offsprings. It's after the delivery, what's actually happening. The high IgG antibody levels and cytokine levels are observed in the infant after delivery. So high levels of angiotensin converting enzyme 2, ACE2, is also found in the blood. So this figure will show how does the virus, it's going into the alveoli, and the types of immune cells that are invaded to the alveoli and causing the major viral host interaction, where you can see a delayed or suppressed type 1 interferon response during an initial infection. Then after that, the viral replication triggers the hyperinflammatory conditions, influx of activated neutrophils and inflammatory monocyte macrophages. And Th1, Th17 is induced and specific antibodies are produced. Okay. Now let's see what are the infections in context of COVID-19. In detection of antibodies to SARS-CoV-2 virus could serve as a basis of an immunity passport. Whether this, like most of the other disease, like viral infection, it's like you feel like you won't be getting a next infection. Is it possible in case of COVID-19? Is it a risk you will get it after once the COVID-19 effect? So we'll be getting back this COVID-19 again or not? That's a big question. But most of the, like many cases have reported that there is a new reinfection is happening. So why it is? Most of the study shows that the people who have recovered from infection have antibodies to the virus. However, These people have a very low level of neutralizing antibodies in their blood, suggesting that cellular immunity may also be critical for the recovery. So, not enough evidence about the effectiveness of the antibody mediated immunity to guarantee the accuracy of an immunity passport or risk free certificate. Transmission of the SARS virus from an infected pregnant woman to the fetus is still controversial. So, viremia is seen only in 1% of the COVID-19 cases, suggesting that placental and fetal seeding might be quite rare. The ACE2 receptor is widely expressed in the placenta with a similar receptor binding domain structure of the SARS virus. Clot forming about the coronavirus and it's happening in the placenta. That could lead to a growth issue in utero, or in severe cases, it could be in the central nervous system injury or also stillbirth. So, in the offsprings born to COVID positive mothers, angiotensin converting enzyme 2 expression was found higher. So, we have seen that many of the COVID-19 patients died of heart attack. So, what happening here is when the angiotensin 2 is higher, it can induce strong vasoconstriction and pro-inflammatory effects and pro-fibrotic effect. This could be a reason why severe heart attack happening to many of the COVID positive patients. So angiotensin converting enzyme was found higher in the offspring born to the COVID positive mothers. And also an elevated IgG antibody, which will unstable the immune system was also found. And also high cytokines levels were found in the offsprings. So in conclusion, there is no conclusive data available right now for the pregnancy outcome of COVID-19, but with the published evidence on transmission incidence and effect of infection in mothers and their babies remains limited to mainly to report a small case series. Evidence from other similar viral illness suggests that pregnant women are at a higher risk of severe maternal and neonatal morbidity and mortality. Cases of transmission of SARS-CoV-2 infection to the neonate have been reported, and many complications are reported, but how frequent this is on a population basis is still unclear. So these are the references which I have used for this presentation. So
Okay, so we have received a few questions. One of the participants has asked, can neutrophils, basophils, lymphocytes blood test can detect whether the pregnant woman has infection in her body?
yes, normally the blood, any infections in the body could be identified by checking the white blood cells mainly. So the white blood cells of the woman, pregnant women, could be taken for analysis to see if there is any infection. So that's something many of the admitted patients who have COVID-19 were found infected or pneumonia or whatever due to this after checking the blood. So same way in pregnant women, this could be any infection could be identified by checking the blood white blood cells.
Okay, another participant has asked if there is any effect on fetus or pregnant women to this highly potential drug of COVID.
There is no, even we are no one ensures clinical trials are still going on. I don't know if the clinical trials have started in any pregnant ladies. So that's something very important to be considered. And the recent studies in Canada shows like um, the offsprings will be affected, um, will have some side effects due to this virus. So that's what. But this this vaccine could affect the outcome of the vaccine has to be studied to see if it's affecting any like it have any effect on the fetus or offsprings in future. That's a long study, which is very important. Yeah. Yeah, I could see another question. What's the essential COVID test? The COVID test, which is taking for everyone, should be also done to the pregnant women to see if they are positive for COVID. There is no specific test so far. Yeah.
Another participant is asked if it is true that glycine-rich diet can decrease the mortality rate in COVID patients, and if it is true, what is the mechanism?
Well, I'm I'm not really sure about how the diet could help, but there are different studies coming out saying that this could help. Like different types of diet could help, but there is nothing so far, no confirmed or no specific study have came out with showing the positive effect of glycine-rich diet, or and I'm not really sure how that could help, but sure, if I get any information, I will. If you send me an email, I can find out more information and I can send to you, Pooja. Sure, I will. I'll try to find out more information on that.
Next question is that a few days ago, one COVID-19 positive mother gave birth to COVID-19 negative child. How is this possible? What is the mechanism behind it? Please tell.
Yeah, actually, that's actually a good question. So, so far, as I have in the introductory background section, like many studies have done on many pregnant women and their offspring, it was found out like only very few cases offspring or the fetal or after the delivery the neonates are found positive. And initial reports were saying that there is no RNA transfer was happening. So, but later on, studies were started to find that the placenta have protein of the viral protein. That means the transfer of the viral content is happening in the placenta itself. So still, the other study, like other studies who were reported that the viral negative, the offspring after the delivery, they were found negative, and the contact could have happened pregnancy. I mean, the offspring's positive. But the recent studies, like 2, 3 studies, and especially a concluded study in Toronto University, they found out that the placenta has protein, viral protein material there. That's how the transferring of the viral protein happening, that is the COVID viral protein happening in the placenta itself, through the placenta. Yeah.
Uh, Another participant was asked, what is the supplement drug to be given for pregnancy women during her 8 months period?
Actually, well, that's a very complicated question. There is no specific drug or specific concluded drug or vaccine have not so far identified or treated. So based on different doctors' opinion or different suggestions in different countries, they are giving different medications to, or if they are on ventilation or infection, antibiotics or something is given. But there is so far there is no specific drug specifically given to pregnant women so far. But of course, there are different medications given by different doctors, and it's happening. But there is no specific drugs approved or given. But it's still happening. They are giving, and patients are getting cured, but not nothing is very specific now, right now.
Uh, Next question. If the infant tested positive for COVID, is there any effect on its long-term immunity, that is adaptive immunity?
Yeah, so still the recent studies, I mean, the studies haven't confirmed for a long-term effect. The one in adult, it's found that there is no the antigen level is very low, so it's basically if a secondary infection is there could happen, but in infant there is nothing, no conclusive study have so far conducted, but these neonates or infants, they are still under like different cohort studies. They are still ongoing studies are happening to see what's actually what could be what could happen to this infants in long term. So it's very important to see what's actually happening to their organs or different enzymes. All these are very important to study in long term. There could be sure some effect, of course, in immunity, immune system or different central nervous system. Of course, there will be some effect, but it has to be studied. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm also still learning. I'm
Yeah, it's like the studies are still going on as it
yeah.
just happened.
Yeah, in our university, like many universities, they are like conducting many cohort studies which could really give some good results in course time.
Okay. Next, one of them has asked that clinical trials are carried on healthy patients, but how do we come to know that the drug is effective and without side effects in pregnant women?
Yeah, that's very important. Well, that's a very important question, and this could be only done in course time, and of course, we know the importance of having a vaccine tested in pregnant women, and also the how does that affect the offspring is very important, and it has to be completely like safe, both uh, both the mom and the offspring. That's very important during pregnancy and also after in long term. So it has to be studied. So these current vaccines, which are currently on clinical trials on different countries, they haven't started in pregnancy. So sure, we can expect such studies in future.
Another question is, does folic acid is considered safe for pregnant women? Some studies have proven that folic acid increases blood pressure.
Okay, it's it's out of COVID. Yeah, but folic acid actually, so far it's considered safe. So other comorbidities would have reported or something have would be there for those patients would reported with high blood pressure, and also there is some cases of central nervous system damage. So of course, it's even though it's a vitamin, it could also have some effect, but I'm not really I won't be, I'm not in a stage to say that it has some side effects, but there is possibility of having some side effects. But so far, it has most of the studies or most of the effect, it's positive.
Ma'am, I have one question. They are saying plasma therapy is effective against the COVID-19. So it is effective against pregnant ladies or infants.
That's something that to be really considered. So the plasma therapy is already it's effective, and it looks like it's effective, but still, we all of understanding, like still trying to learn actually what's happening. So looks like, and there is the COVID-19 against the plasma therapy is effective against COVID-19 patients. So that's really a very good suggestion to for pregnancy, and that could really help. But again, the complication has to be studied first before giving to that. And actually, our university is having a collaboration with another university. They are trying to have this plasma therapy, not in pregnancy, but in infants born to the born to the pregnant, COVID-19 moms. So that could be a possible like effective therapy, which is to be considered.
Yeah. And ma'am, what you say about herd immunity?
It's actually the so far the study says like 50-50. Effect is 50-50. So it's
Yeah.
not no conclusive. For some patient it's effective, but others are not really effective. So I don't have any conclusive answer, because the study clearly says some do not have impact, but some have effect. So it's still 50-50. So
Yeah.
again, our university is having a study right now with COVID-19, and it's they already halfway through it. I think they will be completing the study in another 2 more months.
Yeah. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you. Actually, sorry for the initial all. I couldn't really.
No, no issue, ma'am. It's fine now. Everything is going good.
Yeah, initially we had a bit of problem. I was thinking whether it's connected or not. Yeah, I'm still on.
Yeah. Yeah. No
Okay.
issue, ma'am. Yeah. Over to you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Another question is if HCQ drug is effective for coronavirus.
Oh, that's the question just now Vikram asked, hydrochloroquine.
Yeah, that is the
Because,
one.
yeah, it's,
Another.
sorry. The thing is, it's still, it's 50-50. Some patient has effect, some patient do not have any effect. So it's not a conclusive answer to say that it's effective. So yeah, I have read many papers, many reports says that it's not effective, but some doctors says, oh, it's effective. So you don't know how to trust or whom to trust. But anyway, it's effective for some patient. I have to say that. Yeah.
Okay. One question is how can prenatal care can be modified to decrease risk of contracting COVID-19?
Okay. Social distancing is the best. That's the best way to keep it. Yeah, but again the question is how to keep away the mom and the baby is another issue. So most of the cases reported the being positive after the birth, immediately they found negative, and after like a week or later, the offspring is found positive. So the study showing that the offspring could have got coronavirus from the mom. That's due to the contact. So of course the baby need the mom's milk and to be with the mom, right? So that's it's a big question if the baby to be with the mom or to be kept completely away. So that's something to be considered. But most of the cases where the neonates had or got this virus from the mom, that is something very important to be considered. So the neonate should be kept away. That's something to be considered. Yeah, rather than getting the virus, right? Because the reported cases, most of the cases says it's from the mom. And the babies were negative immediately after 24 hours of the birth. And like 1 week, they are positive. So it should be kept away.
Ma'am, next question is, should antenatal glucocorticoids be avoided in pregnant women with COVID-19?
Okay, still this COVID-19 in pregnancy is still a big. So what to be done, what not to be done, and what drugs to be taken, or steroids or corticoids or whatever to be taken to be still. Studies have to be done to see whether they are safe or if there is any positive effect on the pregnancy to be studied. I'm so sorry. I'm not really sure whether this to be taken or to be avoided. I'm not. I'm not. I don't have an answer for that because some says it's to be taken. Some like I was reading before I was reading a list of drugs. Different countries, the doctors, the gynecologists, they are suggesting different drugs to be taken or different drugs not to be taken. One country, the doctors saying, okay, this to be taken to avoid the virus from transferring to the mom to the pregnant or to reduce the complication. The other country, they are saying, oh, these two not to be taken. So there is no conclusive answer for all these questions now. So sure, we could, researchers are studying and we could really get some good response or good reports in near future, at least in the next 1 year.
I think we are almost covered with all of our questions. So, Dr. Sini Matthew, is there anything you'd like to mention or share with the audience and wrap up the session with?
Actually, this is very important. Even though I'm not currently doing any research on this one, I'm interested to see what's actually happening in pregnancy because these neonates offsprings a long-term effect in pregnancy and also the offspring to be studied. It's very important. So, and I really recommend the researchers or students or the drug companies to come forward and see the effect in pregnancy and also the effect in the offspring. That's very important. I really suggest the research groups or to like they have to put their effort in doing this type of studies.
Thank you, Dr. Sini. It was a really enlightening and informative session. I'd now like to request respectable Dr. V.K. Gupta, Director and Principal of Dreams College of Pharmacy, to give the vote of thanks.
Thank you very much. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Am I audible? Yeah, thank you very much. First of all, I must appreciate Dr. Sini Matthew John for imparting valuable knowledge. Really, I have all praised the way she handled the session. Being pharmaceutical background, this knowledge would be highly beneficial for us. I am thankful to her for sparing her valuable time for us. I extend my thanks to Mr. Naresh Chauhan, Chairman Dreams Group of Institutions, for granting permission and facilitate the things for conduct of this conference. I am very much thankful to all team members, Operant Pharmacy Federation, especially Mr. Vikram Chaudhary, founder and director of OPF, for his committed and sincere efforts, and of course, Miss Me Nichu, Director Content and Creativity, Operant Pharmacy Federation, for her valuable suggestions. I am thankful to all persons, organizations involved directly or indirectly with their efforts to make the event successful. Once again, I thank one and all. Over to Miss Me Nichu.
Now I
Kindly
request, yes, now I request Mr. Vikram Chaudhary to give his vote of thanks.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dr. Sini Methu John, for sharing your wonderful knowledge on COVID-19, on outcome of COVID-19 on pregnant ladies, and you very well explained about the COVID-19 and the effect on the pregnant women and infant babies. And I'm much very sure that all the audience have give impart knowledge on COVID-19 on the pregnant ladies. I am also thankful to Dr. Vivek Gupta and entire team of DIMS groups of institutions and management of the group of institutions for their excellent support to this webinar to making this event grand successful. I'm also thank you to Minusi, Director Content and Creativity of Open Pharmacy Federation, for hosting this event very well in professional manner. And I also thank to each and every participant from across the globe who joined this today's international web conference. Over to Minusi.
Thank you everyone for attending today's session. The feedback link for OPF Icon 4 has been provided in the question box and will be active till 12 p.m. today. All the registered candidates are requested to fill the form and download the certificates from the given downloading link. Our next scheduled webinar on 15 July 2020 on the topic funding agencies and advanced research will be held. Thank you once again for joining us today. And it was a great session. I hope we see you once again.
So all fine.
Yes.
For Parent Pharmacy Federation, powered by researchers for emerging innovations. Hi, I'm Meeni Shiv, Director Content and Creativity of Parent Pharmacy Federation. If you're looking for publishing periodicals or journals related to the pharmaceutical research, or if you're seeking to bring together pharmaceutical researchers on a single platform to discuss various issues related to the pharmaceutical industry, then OPF is the right place for you. Parent Pharmacy Federation, or OPF, is the international professional body of pharmacists engaged in various facets of the profession of pharmacy. OPF is committed to promote the highest professional and ethical standards of society, establish the image of pharmacists as competent healthcare professionals, sensitize the community, government, and others on various professional issues, and support the education in all aspects. We are both research-based and community-based. We are an online-based scientific multidisciplinary community in the pharmaceutical sciences, biomedical, drug discovery, and life sciences field. We deal with publishing research papers, theses, dissertations, abstracts, reports, monographs, case studies, and others on regular basis. You can also get information about the various opportunities available within the pharmaceutical industry by gaining insights from the pharmacists who represent a plethora of practice settings. We also provide our members with extensive scholarships and awards program content, recognizing members for involvement in the Federation, for leadership, academic success, and grassroots. Other than that, we advise to make the best use of the educational opportunities that are specifically designed to enhance the knowledge by keeping it updated with the latest information and path of innovation. Other objectives with regards to information efficiency, research, and publish includes provision of information related to job openings and fellowships for pharmacy researchers, to spread the familiarity with the pharmacy profession and training and research in the general public by organizing different camps, seminars,